Hey everyone, whenever we talk to someone, do you think that we pay attention to each and every word the other person is saying? If you wonder that no, probably we do not, then it's not strange thing because we all do some or the other, right? But in this particular world, as you know, that a lot of people, a lot of great people rather, they have talked about it, that in order to get success, you need to have patience, right? Now, there are different definitions of patience, and there are different ways to gather knowledge and to become patient, right? But today, what I'm going to talk about is that maybe a trick, maybe a simple trick can help you out to become more patient, because whenever you lose patience, you tend to go in a wrong way. So why don't you guys apply this particular simple trick and try to find out the difference it all can make, right? So are you guys ready for it? Let's go for it. So each and every time whenever we talk to someone, as you know, that we try to get the bottom line as quickly as possible. And why do we want to do that? Because it's a basic human instinct, right? We do not have the patience to listen to everything because probably we start speculating what others are going to say. But that's where we go wrong. So in order to become more patient, in order to increase the level of patience, what can we do and what we don't do actually? Since our childhood, as you know, we start talking in our mother tongue. That's the basic thing, right? We all do that. But slowly and gradually, we learn other languages and we start using that language, right? Now, the biggest challenge is you try to be fluent in other language the way you do in your mother tongue. But on the contrary, it's very, very difficult to become that fluent in other language. But yes, it's not impossible. We all can do that if we try. But on the other hand, since we try to be fluent, we try to be a little faster than others. Why we do that? Because we try to finish it off quickly. Now, as you know, that we should always try to hold on to everything, not to finish up quickly, right? But in this particular case, we try to do that. Why? Because we believe we do not have the time. But in reality, we do have time, but I don't have patience. Now, then what to do? There are different definitions, as I said, right, of patience, but there are different ways, there are different tricks available. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of videos on this. A lot of gurus, a lot of motivational speakers have already talked about it. But today, the one which I said that I'm going to share with you is a huge trick, and I don't know whether you guys will believe it or not, but yeah, one of my doctors typically helped me to implement this, and I really got benefited out of it, and that's the reason I want to share with you. So it's a very simple trick, try to talk to everyone with a slow paced manner. And why do we do that? See, we all know that this is a fast paced market, right? The world is moving like anything. But in order to understand, in order to comprehend better, you have to talk slow. That's where we are lacking. Whenever, especially say for example, when it comes to corporate world, we have seen whenever there's a meeting, everybody tries to finish it up as quickly as possible. Maybe the call is for 1 hour, but they try to wrap it up within 45 minutes or maybe 30 minutes. Why? Because everybody tries to speak and tries to complete his or her statement quickly because they want to get rid of it. It's not that they're enjoying it. I'm sure, it's not possible all the time to enjoy each and every meeting. But the major thing is we try to finish it off and others can easily recognize. So what we are doing typically, at the end of the day, we are losing our patience. So we are going to repeat the same thing in everywhere, the way we try. But if you start talking slowly, you will gain confidence as well as patience at the same point of time. Try to implement it at least for 7 days. Let's try it. What's the harm in it, right? So just try. I think in my other video, I already talked about it, that we try to find out meaningful words in a sentence. so that you can understand, okay, whatever the other person is trying to say. But that's not the trick. The trick is you got to have patience to understand and listen every word that the person is saying. It's going to cost you what? It's going to cost you time, nothing else. But please do not come up with that particular excuse that you do not have time. You do. You do not have patience, right? So we come from different background, right? We come from, maybe, I specifically can say that I came from a very toxic atmosphere where everybody used to talk negative. I personally believe in that manner, because whenever I used to dream to be a part of a multinational company, everybody used to say, I'm talking about my surroundings, I'm talking about from my family. They used to push me for a different kind of job altogether. But yes, I didn't agree. I did not succumb. I did not get bogged down by them. I knew what I wanted to do, and I'm doing it right now. Yes, I have a different target altogether as well. But apart from that, being in any situation, try to be the brightest from the darkest. We don't try that actually, because we think, why would I do it? Okay, I don't have patience for that, right? You know that's a very strange and normal sentence right now. But honestly, if you talk slow, if you start talking to each and every person with a slow paced manner, believe me, you will gain confidence as well as patience. You'll become more patient, because if you talk slow, you will listen the other person pretty slowly. So if you start understanding everything slowly, it will be there in your mind. It will be placed in your mind rather. We try sometimes, whenever you are trying to understand something pretty quickly, it goes right from one ear to the other. So we don't want to do that, right? We want to keep it in our brain. So for that reason, go slow. Sometimes, yes, we do have a deadline for each and everything, right? When it comes to delivery, yes, we sometimes try to make it pretty quick. But remember, most of the times, go slow, talk slower, and make the other person understand or listen to each and every word which you are trying to say. You will also feel pretty important in a conversation if you do that. As I said, try to be the brightest from the darkest. So yeah, there are some dark phases in our life and everywhere, I think, right? But why don't we try to shine? I would really love to hear your comments on this particular section, and I would try to understand whether it's really helpful for you guys or not, because it really worked like magic for me.